What's up, guys? Back with another video. Today we're talking about Bittensor Tao. So Bittensor is really one of my new high conviction investments. You know, that goes for stocks or crypto. It's really up there as one of my top picks. You know, definitely in my top 10 investments. Now, Bittensor, it's really one of the more complicated cryptos to understand, and really people have a hard time understanding crypto in general, so that says a lot. But if we're going into it, we're gonna basically say, at the most simple level, it's more or less a network that incentivizes people to create the best work. It basically commoditizes work, specifically AI work. But it really doesn't necessarily have to be AI work. It could just be any type of work. And it creates an incentive structure for that work to be done as efficiently as possible in a decentralized manner. So at its core, that's what Bit Tensor is. If that's hard to understand, I would recommend just diving deeper, just doing more research, maybe looking at the white paper or watching a interview with one of the main founders, Jake Steves, who does a pretty good job of explaining what it is, or watching the documentary that came out about a year ago. I can't remember what it was, something like AI Minds or something like that, but that was a very good documentary as well. But why am I having so much conviction on Bit Tensor? Now, when I say conviction, for Bit Tensor, that means something a little different than with my other investments, because I recognize the fact that that really getting incentive structures perfectly correct is very difficult. In fact, one of my largest misses in crypto, Thorchain Rune, is kind of similar in that it's very based off of incentivizing people, creating incentive structures, and ultimately it failed. I shouldn't say ultimately, it's actually still a project, they're still working on it, but they've had major bumps in the road, and it's just not easy to get incentive structures correct. But I think Bittensor Tao has a better chance, largely because it's more really the major mistake that Thorchain made was getting into lending. They created a lending feature that ultimately was not sustainable, despite them saying that it was going to be. So I think Tao has a different set of risks, but it doesn't have that lending risk, which tends to always blow up in crypto. Luna being one of the biggest examples, which crashed the entire market down. But yeah, Bittensor, AI is going to be huge, and really one of the main theses behind Bittensor is that we can't afford as humanity to have just giant corporations be the controlling forces of artificial intelligence. That basically just makes them the most powerful entities in the world. Whatever controls AI becomes the most powerful entity in the world. So we really want that to be as distributed as possible. So another way to look at Bittensor is that it's kind of the Bitcoin of AI, whereas Bitcoin was able to create the largest supercomputer in all of the world in its 14 years of existence. By far, the amount of hash power that all of the miners are creating altogether is massive. So Tao is trying to leverage that so that the miners aren't just kind of doing useless work, as many would call it, which is debatable though, because it's securing the Bitcoin network, so that's not completely useless. But rather than just securing the Bit Tensor network, they are also basically creating this network of efficient work, as I stated earlier. So yeah, I gave you guys a few angles on Bit Tensor. Now, another really recent development with Bit Tensor that happened is that companies are basically putting it on their balance sheet, kind of similar to how MicroStrategy does. Really the most notable being this company that used to be called Synaptogenix, but as of today, they're changing their name to Tao Synergies, and their ticker symbol is going to be changing from SNPX to TAOX. So this company, as well as a few other companies, have basically adopted MicroStrategy's strategy, but for Bit Tensor Tao. So they're basically just Bit Tensor Tao holding companies. And a bunch of these have popped up all at once, which is interesting because other cryptocurrencies around similar market capitalizations don't have these holding companies popping up. So, you know, I dove into Synaptogenix, you know, now going to be Tao Synergies. I have a, you know, relatively small position in it, but right now it's trading under cash. So, you know, of course, I think ultimately it's going to trade above its Tao holdings, above, you know, it's going to trade at a premium, as all of these holding companies do currently, at least. And it's such a small market cap company. You know, they recently did a raise. Including the raise, I believe their fully diluted market cap is something like, I don't know, 13, 14 million. They have 20 million in cash. So right now they're trading at a discount to their cash. And if they put all of that into Tao, then they're going to trade at a discount to Tao. So yeah, I think that's an interesting play. But, you know, it just adds to the bullishness around Bit Tensor Tao. It's really just getting the attention of a lot of the people that you wanted to get the attention of. Barry Silbert probably being the largest. You know, Barry Silbert was an early Bitcoin investor and actually really helped build the infrastructure around Bitcoin. Then we've got Tom Lee, who in my opinion is my favorite stock market analyst, and he is becoming big on Bit Tensor. He was also big on Bitcoin pretty early on, I think 2017, maybe earlier. So yeah, there's a lot of big names rallying around Bit Tensor Tao. Yeah, that's really it for the video. I'm bullish. It's one of my largest holdings, especially as far as crypto goes. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys agree, disagree, leave a comment. See you guys next video.